So trying to determine if this guy is a hero or not, I'm looking at the words in the title: fears, political price, market turmoil, very much loaded language, negative connotation. It's a fallacy. I label it F, and I put those things in my notes. So you highlight it, make a comment on it, and you label it. I have the fallacy, but I want to say that it's related to him, so I'm going to highlight it, underline it, put a comment on it that for a character trait, he is, from this title, I'm seeing from the loaded language that perhaps he's insecure, fearful. Here I underlined he is fretting about global changes. I underline it. Trait could be coward, insecure. A challenge would be economy downfalls. It sounds kind of like a personal attack, so I put that as my fallacy here. And then here it sounds a possible oil price hike. From that, it's a challenge, possible that something bad is going to happen to our economy. A fallacy: is this a magic wand? How does he know specifically? Maybe it's something, the evidence. It looks like there might be evidence I have to check. So I make a note for myself that I need to fact check that. Again, a tariff battle with China. That is a, it shouldn't be that it's a challenge, and it is a fact I can look up on other, and I know that because I know that from looking up at other articles. A strategic viability of his American first foreign policy, in quotes. Strategic viability, again, that's a negative connotation, so I can put America first. I can maybe do some more research, like, is that a bad policy? Because they're having a negative connotation about that, which could lead to a character trait of maybe inept or not good at his job, if that's such a bad thing. Widening confrontation between Washington and Moscow. I can look up that fact, so the evidence is a fact. The Dow Jones is on track to slide 400 points. Slide is a negative connotation. I'm going to look at that. The challenge is stock market slide. It is a fact I can look up, but it sounds kind of like a slippery slope. I have to check my evidence. And then here they're saying that he has renewed doubts. His Twitter account is usually a reliable guide of his frustrations and grievances. I could say that trait is he's easily frustrated. He can't handle stress well. And the evidence are his tweets, which would be a fact because you can look it up. Right here he says, apart from a tribute to George H. Bush, that's a counterclaim.
Mr. Donner,
Okay, so then when I look down here as well, at the first time ever in 18 months, the gas prices are cheaper than a year ago. I think there's some wiggle room in that loaded language. Seems like it's a kind of a scare tactic because we are at a much better place than we were 2 years ago. And speaking of the market, they're talking about a slide and how devastating that would be. If you look 10 years ago, we have gone up over 20,000 points, and they're talking about dropping a 400 is a huge slide. Not quite sure if I should be fearful or not. So I'm going to add those to these 3 other websites to show some evidence that doesn't support what the author was saying in his text. Remember, this is just an example of how to do some research. You want to prove that your person is a hero, so it may have a different spin than this is an example that I'm presenting to you. And I'm presenting this one just because it has a lot of fallacy and bias in it, and it is easy to disprove.